let's do a car stereo battle on some single-DIN flip-up head units. Plenty of vehicles can only allow head unit replacements of single-DIN stereos, limiting your ability to get a large touchscreen as offered with double-DIN head units. Motorized flip-up single-DIN head units are the best solution for getting a double-DIN head unit style display in a vehicle that can only accept a single-DIN application. In this video, we'll compare 3 different brands and models of affordable single-DIN flip-up head units: the Boss BV860B, the Jensen CDR7011, and the Soundstream VR-75XB. These 3 head units are excellent to compare because they have similar features and price tags, but each has their own pros and cons compared to the others. Let's find out which is the best option for you. This video is brought to you by the Ridge Wallet. The Ridge completely re-engineered and modernized the wallet, rendering the bulky and outdated leather bifold that millions of men carry in their pockets every day ancient. This ain't your dad's wallet for sure. At a fraction of the size, these unique wallets can hold up to 12 cards with room for cash on the built-in money clip. Trust me, your cards and cash have never been more secure. Once they're inside the Ridge, they aren't going anywhere. The Ridge wallets are minimal, industrial, come in over 30 colors and sizes, plus feature a lifetime warranty, meaning they're guaranteed for life. And don't worry about damage or bending, they're insanely durable. Go to ridge.com/QMV and use our coupon code QMV at checkout for 10% off your order today. First, we'll take a peek inside each of the boxes, starting with the Boss BV860B, which comes with a warranty card, owner's manual, wireless remote control, wiring harness, RCA harness, which includes RCA AV inputs, RCA preamp outputs for front, rear, and subwoofer, 2 video outputs, and backup camera inputs, mounting hardware, and single-DIN flip-up head units. Next, the Jensen CDR7011, which comes with an instruction manual, wiring harness with steering wheel control input, trim panel, hardware, radio removal tools, RCA harness, which includes RCA preamp outputs for front, rear, and subwoofer, backup camera, and video output, external microphone, and single-DIN flip-up head units. Finally, the Soundstream VR-75XB, which comes with an owner's manual, warranty, wireless remote control, wiring harness, RCA harness, which includes RCA preamp outputs for front, rear, and subwoofer, backup camera inputs, and video outputs, mounting hardware, and single-DIN flip-up head units. Right off the bat, the Boss BV860B looks like the best option with the included wireless remote control and expandability with its second video output. But let's see what connections are going on in the rear of these head units. The Boss's rear inputs include RCA harness, wiring harness, radio antenna, steering wheel control inputs, and USB. The Jensen's inputs include RCA harness, wiring harness, external microphone, and radio antenna. The Soundstream's rear connections include Sirius XM, RCA harness, wiring harness, and radio antenna, as well as built-in steering wheel control cables. For cost, the Boss and Soundstream are both in the $200 range, and the Jensen is up around $250. When it comes to boot time, the Boss is fastest, and the other 2 actually require you to press the power button, which is kind of annoying. The Boss also has the best all-around design and LED lighting in its closed single-DIN display. Its LED panel lights are the brightest, and so is in its front display. The Singleton display on the Soundstream is particularly dim despite its bright LEDs. Up front, all three head units feature a rotary dial for volume control, a USB input, and a 3.5mm auxiliary input. I also prefer the Boss's matte black paneling to the high gloss on the Jensen and Soundstream. It's much less susceptible to smudges, especially compared to the Soundstream, which attracts smudges like a magnet in metal. I think the Boss has the best design overall, although I do like the voice recognition button on the Jensen. The Boss also features an SD card slot up front, which the others don't have. All head units in their full functions work fine with the motorized display completely closed, so you don't always have to have them open. You'll have access to all audio sources like Bluetooth, radio tuner, USB, CD, etc. Each unit has its own display open button, allowing the motorized displays to flip up, showing us the most important aspects of this comparison, the displays. All three are glare resistive touchscreens. The displays on two of these head units have tilt adjustments, the Boss and Soundstream. The tilt options for the Boss are in the general settings, and for the Soundstream, simply hold down the open tilt button to change the tilt angle. A quick press on this button will close or open the display. The Jensen has no tilt adjustments. And when it comes to user interfaces and operating systems, Jensen comes in last place for me. Not that any of them are blowing my hair back, but the Jensen doesn't even have a home screen or really any setting menus besides audio. The Soundstream's home screen is bold and colorful, and the Boss's home screen is more simple. The design of all sources on the stereos are pretty average and unique to each other. It'd really be about personal preference here. I prefer the simplicity of the Boss's sources and pages, but they're all really the same thing with just a different look. When it comes to video and DVD playback, I couldn't really spot much of a difference between them in terms of quality. Obviously, brighter movies look best on these low-resolution displays. Bluetooth provides hands-free calling and wireless music streaming on each. On the Soundstream, the Bluetooth music source is sort of hidden in the Bluetooth audio source. The Soundstream also has no music tags, which is for sure a con. The Boss and Jensen both have them, whereas the Boss has its own Bluetooth music source and Bluetooth calling source. Since it has no home source, changing sources on the Jensen is mostly done with the actual physical source button on the bottom panel, but you can change from Bluetooth to USB on the touchscreen. Connecting with a USB thumb drive will allow playback of audio, video, and JPEG images. The Soundstream would not display music tags. Whereas the Jensen and Boss did. And the Boss definitely has the best looking and fastest sources here. None of these head units will play back music from a smartphone via a USB connection, although they will charge your device and you can still operate Bluetooth at the same time while charging. But there are no smartphone USB music streaming sources. For audio customization, each head unit has their own unique settings. Before we crown our king, let's test each out. The first test we ran was 2 channels driven at 4 ohms, 14.4 volts, 1 kHz EQ flat. Our audio precision will generate our signal and measure distortion. On the Soundstream volume 39, our BV860B audio analyzer picked up 18.1 watts RMS of continuous power, 1.1% distortion, and 8.3 volts of output. We can swap from left to right channels. Our AMM1 read 13 watts and drew 4.66 amps of currents. On the Jensen, volume 39, our HP picked up 19.94 watts RMS, 1.28% distortion, and 8.6 volts of output. Channel swap. Our AMM1 read 13 watts RMS and drew 4.66 amps of current. On the Boss, volume 29, our HP picked up 18.5 watts RMS, 1.2% distortion, and 8.5 volts of output. Channel swap. Our AMM1 read 14 watts RMS and redrew 4.6 amps of current. Down to 40 Hz. On the Soundstream, volume 39, our HP picked up 17.14 watts RMS, 1.08% distortion, and 8.2 volts of output. Channel swap. Our AMM1 read 14 watts RMS and redrew 4.7 amps of current. 40 Hz on the Jensen, volume 38. Our HP picked up 19.2 watts RMS, 1.07% distortion, and 8.6 volts of output. Channel swap. Our AMM1 read 14 watts RMS and redrew 4.7 amps of current. 40 Hz on the Boss, volume 29. Our HP picked up 18.02 watts RMS, 1.08% distortion, and 8.4 volts of output. Channel swap. Our AMM1 read 15 watts RMS and redrew 4.7 amps of current. Next, we tested the RCA preamp outputs, starting with the Soundstream. At 1 kHz, volume 50, we got 2.81 volts with 0.99% distortion. At 40 Hz, volume 50, we got 2.88 volts with 1% distortion. RCAs on the Jensen. At 1 kHz, volume 42, we got 4.1 volts with 1% distortion. At 40 Hz, we got 4.08 volts with 1.01% distortion. RCAs on the Boss. At 1 kHz, volume 32, we got 2.08 volts with 1% distortion. 40 Hz, we got 2.08 volts with 1% distortion. Our final test was frequency response. We used our audio precision to run up each frequency. Overall, these head units all hit decent specs. The Jensen was the only head unit to get above 3 volts with preamp outputs, hitting 4 volts. The RMS power on all three was within range of each other, and the Jensens had the lowest RMS on average by about 1 watt. Time to select one. Personally, if I had to choose between all three models, I'm going with the Boss. The preamps are under 3 volts, but the aesthetics matter to me, and I think it has the best overall features and operating system. Be sure to go to qualitymobilevideo.com to get all of your car audio and video gear with us today. Links for everything in the bio below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button, join the conversation below, and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching.